Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and in this video I'm going to have a spinner wheel choose what genre I'm going to be reading. So I made a wheel on my phone and I have all the genres that I read on here, more or less, and I am going to spin this. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to change up the genre with every book or if I'm just going to stick with one genre. I'm just going to kind of see how it goes. And so we have romance, romantasy, thriller, mystery, historical, epic fantasy, horror, cozy fantasy, sci-fi, genre blend / other, and literary fiction. I don't read a lot of literary fiction, but I do have a few on here. So there's like Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, or The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, which I think could be considered historical, but I have a few of them on here, so I added that in as well. I don't have classics on here because I have to be in the right mood for a classic, and I'm just not feeling those right now. So I'm going to shuffle this up a little bit, and we will spin to see what my first genre will be and what book I will be choosing for that genre. All right, so here is our wheel. Everything is on here twice, which is why it looks so full. Ooh, okay, I thought we were gonna get a romance there for a minute, but we got a cozy fantasy. So, what do I want to read? There is The Teller of Small Fortunes. There is Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things. There is, oh goodness, what else do I have? Let me do some looking and some thinking, and I'll be right back and tell you what one I'm going to be reading for this video. Okay, so I am back and I have some options here. So I have The Peculiar Garden by The Peculiar Garden of Harriet Hunt by Chelsea Iverson. This is the one that my sister sent me for our July book exchange. She is currently reading this one, I believe, and is really enjoying it. So there's that one. We have Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things by Brianne Randall. This is her most recent release. My mom read this and really enjoyed it. I read her other book, The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic, and I gave that 4 stars. So I did enjoy that one. I have The Only Purple House in Town by Anne Aguirre. I don't even remember fully what this one is about, but it's kind of like a found family type of thing, and I'm totally into that. So we have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I read a little bit of this one so far, and I wasn't super in the mood for it at the time, but I do still really want to read this one. We have The Magic of a Lemon Drop Pie, which is a little bit more of like a magical realism, I believe, but she gets lemon drops and she can change things in her life, kind of like The Midnight Library. Or I could do a reread of The Spell Shop. Now, I don't have the Enchanted Greenhouse yet. I decided to wait and hold out until my birthday, and maybe I'll get it as a birthday gift, even though I'm chomping at the bit to go and buy it because I saw it at Target on Friday night and almost got it then. I do kind of want to do a reread of this one because this was my top book of last year, and the new one is out, and I want to get it and I want to read it, and I just love this book so much. So I am debating on doing a reread of this one. Now the question is which do I choose? Because I could also do any TJ Klune that I have back here, but I think I'm going to hold off on the TJ Klunes for right now. What do I want to read? So I think I'm kind of between these two. So this one, it says Iris Collins is a messy one in her family. The Chaos Bunny, her sisters are all wildly successful, while she can't balance her budget for a single month. It's no wonder she's in debt to her roommates. When she unexpectedly inherits a house from her great aunt, her plan is to turn it into a B&B fails, as most of her plans do. She winds up renting rooms like a Victorian spinster, collecting other lost souls, and not all of them are human. Eli Reese grew up as the nerdy outcast in school, but he got rich designing apps. Now he's successful by any standards, but he's never had the same luck in finding a real community or people who understand him. Over the years, he's never forgotten his first crush, so when he spots her at a cafe, he takes it as a sign. Except then he gets sucked into the Iris verse and somehow ends up renting out one of her B&B rooms. As the days pass, Eli grows enchanted by the misfit boarders staying in the house, and even more so by Iris. Could Eli have finally found a person and a place to call home? So this sounds really cute. It does say romance on the back, so it's going to be like a fantasy, romance, cozy kind of thing. It sounds really cute, and it kind of gives me vibes of like Cerulean, House in the Cerulean Sea, and Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It kind of gives me those vibes, so I'm definitely curious about trying that one out. And then Teller of Small Fortunes, it says, a wandering fortune teller finds an unexpected family in this warm and wonderful debut fantasy. Tao is an immigrant fortune teller traveling between villages with just her trusty mule for company. She tells only small fortunes, whether it will hail next week, which boy the barmaid will kiss, when the cow will calve. She knows from bitter experience that big fortunes come with big consequences. Even if it's a lonely life, it's better than the one she left behind. But a small fortune unexpectedly becomes something more when a semi-reformed thief and an ex-mercenary recruit her into this desperate search for a lost child. Soon they're joined by a baker with a need for adventure, and of course the slightly magical cat. Tao starts down a new path with companions as big-hearted as her fortunes are small. But as she lowers her walls, the shadows of her past close in, and she'll have to decide whether to risk everything to preserve the family she never thought she could have. So this sounds really good too. I think I'm going to go with this one because it is shorter and I want to at least finish one book for this video. So I think I'm going to start with The Teller of Small Fortunes. I'm going to hold off on the Spell Shop for the moment because I know that technically they don't need to be read together, The Enchanted Greenhouse and The Spell Shop. So I think I'm going to start with this one. And so yeah, I will start reading and I will come back and give you guys an update when I have some initial thoughts on this, probably about halfway through because this book is not very long. It's only like 320 pages. So I'm going to get started on this and I will come back and talk to you guys when I have some thoughts. Hey, what's up guys? So it is a while later. It is now currently 5:18 and I have spent the day reading The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. So I am now on chapter 10. I am 146 pages in, so nearly halfway through. And this book is fine. So this book is following Tao, and she is a fortune teller, but she only tells small fortunes. And the reason for that is that people can't be as angry with you if you tell small fortunes instead of big ones. If it's something that's more of like on the simple side, like you're gonna get a new tunic or something like along those lines, people are less likely to get upset with you. And she is always traveling because the more she stays in one place, the more likely it is that people are going to keep coming back and wanting more, which would allow them to get more upset with her. So she is traveling all the time, and usually she's traveling on her own. But one day she leaves this town that she had been in, and she comes across a tree that had fallen in the road, and she was trying to cut the tree, like chop it in half so that way she could move it. And she meets these two guys, Silt and Mash, and they are thieves, and they are on their own quest and trying to find Mash's daughter, who was 4 years old, who went missing 6 months prior. And they end up kind of teaming up because Tao told a small fortune to Mash, saying that he was going to give his daughter a kitten, not realizing that his daughter had gone missing. So they are all on this journey together now, and in the time being, they have also come across this girl who is a baker. Her name is Kina, and she's not the greatest baker. Like, her stuff is really, really good, but they're not as much like aesthetically pleasing. Like, they aren't as pretty. And so she ends up kind of coming along for the journey with them. She wants to go to new places and see new things. And so they're all kind of on this journey together. And Tao has found that she's actually kind of starting to enjoy having company that isn't just her mule. And so it's kind of this group of people that have come together. They're kind of just going along to traveling together, but at the same time, they're all kind of invested at this point in trying to help find Mash's daughter. And this book is fine. I feel like hardly anything has happened though. I'm like halfway through this and I feel like almost nothing has happened other than the fact that what I just told you, that they are now friends with Kina, and Silt had a crush on Kina and she turned him down, and you know, there's just really hasn't been a whole lot that's happened with this. So this book is fine. I think that there's nothing like inherently wrong with it. It's just, I feel like nothing's happened, and I was hoping that there'd be more to it right now. There's a lot of like background with this book of the country and possible wars and things that are brewing. But it's all like background information, and like you don't really get a whole lot of information about it. Tao is what's called a Shin. She's Shin, which means that she is from, what is it, Shannara, is where she was originally born, was like the other country that they're like fighting against. And so she gets outcasted a lot because of that. And sorry, my kids are playing again. So she's kind of looked down on a lot for that sometimes, depending on the town. And she's grown up in this country though, and so she's just trying to live under the radar and like live her life, tell her fortunes, and not really stay attached to anybody or anywhere for very long. And so yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot that's happened. There's nothing wrong with it. I like the writing just fine. I don't think it's really deep. It's not excessively descriptive, but there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm a little bit bored, and so I don't know. So I think what I'm going to do is just so that way, because tomorrow I have to go to town, and so I don't know how much I'm going to read in this for the rest of the night, as well as how much I'm going to read tomorrow. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spin my wheel one more time, so that way I can just have another book on deck and ready to go, because I don't think this is going to take me very long to finish. So let me pull up my wheel. All right. And okay, so we got a sci-fi. So I'll have that on deck, and I'll kind of start thinking now, but I'm going to continue on in reading A Teller's Small Fortunes, and then I'm going to come up with my next sci-fi, and I think I got to go break up a fight right now. So I will check back in with you guys later on. Hey, what's up guys? So it is now Wednesday, the 23rd of July, and I finished The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This book I ended up giving 3.5 stars. I felt like it was very, very slow, and it was not very memorable. I think my biggest thing with this is when things started to happen that like were really, really interesting. I wish that it would have been explored more, but it felt like it just kind of skimmed over it. So like I liked the characters, I liked the writing, I liked the like overall plot with this book, but I felt like the main conflict in this book was really just kind of glossed over. And so I know that this is supposed to be like a cozy fantasy, so it's not supposed to be high stakes, but I feel like this didn't go about it correctly. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I liked the characters, I liked the concept. I thought there were a lot of really interesting factors in this. There's phoenixes, there's trolls, there's I don't even remember what else right now, but there's all there's a handful of different magical characters. And so yeah, this book had a lot of really fun elements. I just felt like it didn't explore those elements well enough. It was too busy sticking with the traveling, wanting to be cozy vibes of Tao as a fortune teller and the friends that she makes along the way, which is fine. I just wanted more. So I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars. Now, when I spun in my last clip, I ended up getting the prompt of a sci-fi. And last night, when I finished this book at like midnight, or like 11:30, I ended up spinning my wheel again just out of curiosity to see what I would get. And what I ended up getting was a genre blend / other. So combining a sci-fi and a genre blend, I ended up coming up with Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. So this is a sci-fi horror or space horror, and this one is following Ophelia Dr. Ophelia Bray, who is a psychologist and is looking into what's called Eckert-Reiser syndrome, ERS, that it's supposed to be a mental affliction that is contagious and causes all kinds of problems. And so she goes with this crew that recently lost a crew member that by unknown means, they believe it to be suicide. And she is looking into this crew to see if possibly ERS was a factor and if she could help prevent it in the other people on this crew. So far, this book is very, very, very slow. I am about a third of the way through it. I am 121 pages in, and Dead Silence, I felt like had a lot more atmosphere. I read Dead Silence by this author and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. This one, I feel like it's just not quite there in the same way. I feel like in Dead Silence, she had the vibes like right from the get-go that it was just kind of eerie, kind of creepy, and a lot of questions. This one, our main character Ophelia is just, she's an outcast in this group and she has a past that she doesn't want to talk about, but it keeps coming up in like memories now that she is immersed with this crew and they're going to these different planets to check things out that have been deserted. And I don't know, there's just something with this book that it's just not quite there. I feel like it's very, very slow. And the eerie things that are happening are very quickly resolved and very easily explained, more so that like Ophelia is overreacting and letting her imagination run away with her. And so right now I'm not super thrilled with this book. I am curious to continue because of how much I love Dead Silence, and I'm wanting this to like get that kind of creepiness like Dead Silence had. I'm really hoping that it does, but at least as of right now, I'm not as into this one as I was with the other one, which is really unfortunate. I was really looking forward to this book. I've been looking forward to this book ever since it came out, and I know that she has her newest one called Eternity that I really wanted to, I want to love this one so that way I can pick that one up and know I'm going to have a great time. Overall though, right now, I think that I'm kind of bored. Actually, no, I'm not kind of bored. I'm very bored. But I don't know. I'm curious for things to start happening. We just had a character that disappeared and went missing. They don't know where he is. I'm really hoping that this is going to kind of kick off the creepiness of this book and that it's not just going to be like they find him in the next chapter. But I am holding out some hope, but I don't know, we'll see. But I am going to continue this. I did start this morning, so I've already read 120 pages today, and it's just afternoon, so I'm off to a great start. And this might be the only books that I get to in this video, but you know what? That's okay. Next week I have my TBR, and we're gonna move on to more videos. And so yeah, this one is okay so far. I'm just not super into it. And I feel like I'm not connecting with Ophelia at all at this point. I don't really care about her past and her issues right now. But I am going to continue this because I do really hope that I end up loving this one. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see how it goes. Right now I feel like there's no distinguishing characteristics in these characters, in this crew at all. Right now, I don't really know the difference between the guys, and I don't remember which girl is which, so that's unfortunate as well. Other than Ophelia, I feel like there's no distinguishing characteristics in these characters so far, which I don't like that. If you're having a really character-based horror or a character-based book like this, you have to be able to tell who people are, you know? You gotta be able to know who's who, like, it's just how it goes. So I don't know. I'm going to keep reading this one though. I'm feeling kind of like in a blah mood today, and I just don't really feel like doing anything except for just like hanging out and watching Gilmore Girls. But I want to be productive today. So I'm going to try and kick my butt into gear and start getting things done. But I wanted to come on and give you guys an update that I finished that one. I have started this one, and like I said, I'm holding out hope for this one, for it to get better. So that is it for my update for you for now, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so we are back. I have officially finished Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. I just finished this. I just put it through Call Pile. and I am giving this one a 3-star. So it did get better from where I left off yesterday when I last talked to you guys. However, it took 200 pages to fully get invested in this book and to actually feel like something was happening. So this book, like I said before, it was following Ophelia Bray, and she's this psychologist, and she's looking for this disease that affects people and is contagious. So they go on this mission, and they're going to this planet that had nobody there, but it had past alien life forms that had once lived there like hundreds of years ago. Something on that planet is odd and messed up and causes people to basically lose their shit and lose their minds, and they start hallucinating and hearing things and seeing things and stuff like that. So it's really dark, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, what's causing it, if it's this disease or if it's something else. And like I said, this book was okay. It took 200 pages to actually get into it. So it took too long. It took far, far too long. This book is 374 pages, and I only cared for the last like 150, 175 pages, and I don't know, I understand why there was an epilogue in this and like the meaning behind it, but it just, I don't know. I don't like how this book ended. There's just something about it that I just don't like how it ended. So overall, this book was fine, but I much preferred Dead Silence. I felt like Dead Silence had a much more eerie atmosphere, and things kicked off, I thought, faster with that one. I still read this one really, really quickly. I read over 240 pages in this book yesterday, so I still got through it very, very fast, but it just didn't have me really engrossed in it like I was hoping that it would. So that's why I'm giving this 3 stars. I just felt like it took too long. I like her writing. I like the atmosphere that she creates most of the time, like overall, within her books and her writing. And I'm definitely would be willing to try more from S.A. Barnes. Like I keep saying, she has Cold Eternity that's out or coming out. And so I definitely would want to try it. But this one just didn't compare to Dead Silence for me personally. And I didn't like the character. I felt like there was a little tiny blip of a romance in here that just was not necessary in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like it kind of took away from it just a little bit for me. I know that in Dead Silence there was that as well, but I didn't notice it so much with that one. But this one, it just felt like it was not necessary. And I don't know, there was just something with this one that just didn't quite hit for me as well. So like I said, 3 stars. It still was an enjoyable book. It was still fine, but it was definitely not a new favorite by any means. But I still enjoyed it. So that is it for this book. This is where I am going to leave off this video. It is Thursday. I want to get this edited and posted so that way I can move on to my next video, which I'm excited for. So I'm just going to leave it with these 2 books that I read this week. So we have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong that I gave 3.5 stars, and Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes that I'm giving 3 stars. So unfortunately this one didn't go quite as well as I hoped. I was hoping that I would have some higher ratings in here this time, but sometimes that's just how it goes. And so yeah, I'm really happy with this. I read these just in the last few days, and I'm glad that I was able to finish these and finally get to Ghost Station. I can mark another one off of my new and improved 25 for 2025. I don't even know how many I'm at now for that, but I feel like I'm flying through it since I changed that up. So that's really fun. So either way, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. Have you read this one? How did you feel about it? I'm really curious to hear what you guys thought as well. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.